If Chucky the doll was inspired by a real haunted doll, hell yeah, you heard what I said. Chucky the Child's Play doll was actually based on true events. See, the doll's actual name was Robert. They called him Robert the doll. Now see, the doll was given to a child named Eugene. Okay, so they purchased Robert the doll from Germany. He was given to Eugene as a birthday present. And that was the worst fucking present anybody could receive ever. Okay, so the Otto family was in Germany having the time of their life. Having a time like hell. They were shaking ass like hell. See, they didn't even want to go home. But after that, after their trip, they flew their ass right back to Key West, Florida. That's where they lived. And so, little Eugene, he playing with Robert the doll every day, every night. Everything is all good. But except for one thing, his family had a housemaid that they treated like shit. And I mean like shit. They treated this lady like she was a slave. They called her all kind of slurs. They spat in her food. Sometimes they paid her and sometimes they didn't. They would kick her. They would beat her sometimes. And little did they know, this fucking lady was sick and tired of their bullshit. And this lady knew voodoo and she put it on the doll. You heard what I said. She put fucking voodoo curses on the doll. So the very next day, Eugene's parents could hear Eugene talking inside of his room to somebody. But they knew for a fact that Eugene was only in there with Robert the doll. But of course, a doll can't talk. So they go inside of Eugene's room and ask him, who is he talking to? And Eugene replied, I'm talking to Robert. Robert can now talk. So his parents looking at each other like, we need to get little dude some help, cause ain't no way in hell he just going crazy out of nowhere. A fucking doll cannot talk. He kept telling his parents that Robert could walk and talk, but they would not believe him. They would not believe Eugene until one day the parents were asleep and they heard footsteps running around. And Eugene was in the room with them asleep and nobody else was in the house. So then they started to put two and two together. So the very next morning, the parents go inside of the living room and the fucking furniture in the living room is upside down. Now, what more evidence do you need to know that this motherfucker need to get the hell out your house? And we also noticed anytime they left Robert at one part of the house, they would leave the house, come back, and his little ass would be in a different section of the house. Now see, it took for the neighbors to tell them they seen Robert running around the windows for them to believe. It took that much. Other people on the outside had to tell them that dog was fucked up for them to believe it. Slowly but surely, the Otto family finally gained common sense and locked that little motherfucker up in the attic. And as soon as they closed the door and locked it, he started laughing and would not stop. They kept that little son bitch in the attic for 74 years. That's a long ass time. 1974, Eugene passed away and a lady named Myrtle bought out his house. And inside the attic, that's when she found Robert. And I don't know why. She wanted to keep that little dude. This ugly ass doll. She kept it. It did not take her long to figure out that something was wrong with this doll. Because every time she looked at it, it would change facial expressions. That should let you know right then something ain't right. Get the hell out. Quick. Once she even bought the house, people was telling Myrtle over and over that this house was haunted and they had a possessed doll inside. But no, she had to find out the hard way. Would get up and run around, but he was so slick, he would not let himself be caught. Whenever it was time to go to sleep, that's when he was the most active, was at nighttime. He would run and run and run and hide and laugh and cry. That lady had enough of that shit. She said, fuck that. 1994, she finally got tired of Robert shit. She took his little ass straight to the museum. And 2 months after that, she mysteriously died. And Robert had a long history of cursing people and them dying shortly after being in contact with him. And Robert is still in this museum to this day, cursing people. You are gonna be cursed, and that's a fact. You can look it up. There's thousands of stories on Robert the doll. So if y'all enjoyed this content, make sure y'all go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.